Aaron Rodgers holds the future of Pittsburgh in his hands. Last offseason, the wait dragged on for months. This time, there is a deadline before free agency. One announcement, two completely different futures. Either a retirement that ends the story or a return that launches one last championship push. And the entire NFL is watching the clock. For months, the future of Aaron Rodgers has hovered over the Pittsburgh Steelers like a storm cloud that refused to move. Every radio show, every fan forum, every locker room interview has circled back to the same question. Is he coming back for 2026, or is this the end? Now, Steelers beat writer Mark Kaboly has provided the clearest update yet. Rodgers is expected to make his official decision before the start of NFL free agency in mid-March. That timeline alone changes everything. Last offseason felt endless. The uncertainty stretched into June. Coaches were asked about a quarterback who had not committed. Teammates were forced to speak in hypotheticals. The front office had to prepare for multiple realities at once. It created hesitation in roster building and tension in the fan base. This year feels different. According to Kaboly, Rodgers wants to handle this the right way. He does not want to leave the organization hanging. He understands what prolonged silence does to a franchise. More importantly, he reportedly wants to respect head coach Mike McCarthy and the people inside the building who are trying to construct a competitive roster. That detail matters. Rodgers has never been indifferent about timing. Throughout his career, whether with the Packers or later chapters, he has understood the power of leverage and the impact of decisions. In Pittsburgh, the stakes are different. The Steelers are not rebuilding. They are not resetting expectations. They are trying to win now. Every offseason move must align with that goal. Free agency is the first domino. If Rodgers announces retirement before free agency begins, the Steelers can pivot immediately. They can pursue veteran quarterbacks on the market, they can evaluate trade possibilities, they can shift draft priorities, they can restructure contracts with clarity instead of caution. If Rodgers announces he is returning, the strategy flips entirely. The front office can go all in around him. They can chase veteran wide receivers who want to play with a Hall of Fame quarterback. They can adjust the offensive line plan to maximize protection. They can allocate cap space with a defined championship window in mind. Certainty unlocks action. For Steelers Nation, this timeline feels like a light at the end of the tunnel. Fans have lived through enough suspense. They remember how long last year dragged. Every week without an answer fueled speculation. Every workout video sparked debate. Every cryptic comment was dissected. This time, there is a deadline. Mid-March is not far away. That means the franchise will not drift into the summer without direction. It means training camp will not open under a cloud of mystery. It means the organization can communicate a clear vision. Still, the emotional weight of the decision remains heavy. If Rodgers retires, it will not just be a roster move. It will be the closing chapter of one of the most fascinating careers in NFL history. The press conference would carry gravity. There would be reflection on championships, MVP seasons, playoff battles, and the evolution of his leadership. Pittsburgh would have to transition quickly from contender mode with a proven veteran to a new era built on uncertainty. Retirement would force tough questions. Who becomes the face of the offense? Does the team trust a younger quarterback to step into that spotlight? Does management pursue a bridge option to buy time? The AFC is not forgiving. Elite quarterbacks dominate the conference. Competing without one demands near perfection in every other phase of the game. On the other hand, if Rodgers returns, the narrative shifts dramatically. A comeback announcement would send shockwaves through the league. It would signal unfinished business. It would confirm that he believes this roster can compete for a title. It would energize the locker room and ignite the fan base. Season ticket demand would spike. National broadcasts would circle Pittsburgh games in primetime windows. A returning Rodgers means urgency. He is not playing for long-term development. He would be playing for a final run. That changes how the Steelers approach every decision. Draft picks become tools for immediate impact rather than long-term grooming. Veterans become more attractive than projects. The margin for error shrinks. Kaboly's report suggests Rodgers understands all of this. By setting a decision point before free agency, he removes the paralysis that plagued last offseason. He is not stringing the organization along. He is not forcing them into silence. He is giving them a framework. Inside the building, that matters as much as the decision itself. McCarthy's role in this story is significant. Coaches need structure in the offseason. They need to design schemes, evaluate personnel, and build training plans. Without knowing who the quarterback will be, those plans stay abstract. A veteran like Rodgers commands a specific offensive approach. His timing, his reads, his freedom at the line of scrimmage shape the entire playbook. Respecting the coaching staff means giving them time to prepare with confidence. There is also a locker room dynamic at play. Players rally around clarity. When leadership feels stable, performance follows. Uncertainty creates distraction. Questions linger in meeting rooms. Conversations drift toward speculation rather than preparation. Rodgers has always spoken about leadership and accountability. Announcing a decision before free agency aligns with that philosophy. It signals awareness of how his choice affects more than just himself. For the front office, the salary cap implications are massive. A returning Rodgers likely requires adjustments, contracts might need restructuring, extensions might need acceleration. Dead money scenarios must be calculated carefully if retirement becomes reality. Waiting until June compresses those options. Acting in March expands them. Time is leverage in the NFL. The Steelers also have to consider the competitive landscape. The AFC North is brutal. Division rivals continue to invest heavily in quarterback talent and defensive depth. Standing still is not an option. Every offseason misstep echoes in December. If Rodgers comes back, Pittsburgh sends a message that it intends to compete immediately. If he retires, the message changes to resilience and recalibration. Either path can work, but each demands decisiveness. Fans feel the tension because they understand what is at stake. Rodgers is not just another veteran quarterback, he represents hope for a deep playoff run. He represents stability at the most important position in sports. Losing that stability requires faith in a new plan. The countdown to mid-March now carries drama of its own. Every interview Rodgers gives will be parsed carefully. Every insider report will trend. Every social media post will spark conversation. Yet, beneath the noise lies a simple truth. The franchise will know soon. That knowledge alone eases some anxiety. It also reflects growth. The prolonged saga of last year strained patience. This time, there is an acknowledgement that dragging the process helps no one. Rodgers reportedly wants to avoid that mistake. He wants to handle business early. The idea of respect stands out. Respect for McCarthy. Respect for teammates. Respect for the organization that invested in him. Respect for fans who commit emotionally and financially to the team. In a league driven by contracts and competition, that human element resonates. Still, no one can ignore the emotional impact of either outcome. Imagine the retirement podium. Rodgers standing before reporters. Cameras flashing. Teammates watching from the back of the room. He speaks about gratitude, about battles fought, about lessons learned. The city thanks him. The chapter closes. Now imagine the alternative. A press conference announcing his return. Confidence in his voice. A declaration that the job is not finished. Teammates posting celebratory messages. Analysts debating Pittsburgh's Super Bowl odds within minutes. Energy surges through the fan base. Both scenes feel possible. Kaboly's timeline does not reveal the choice. It reveals the structure. That structure creates anticipation rather than exhaustion. There is an endpoint to the waiting. From a football perspective, the quarterback position dictates everything. Protection schemes adjust, receiver routes evolve, play calling philosophy shifts. A veteran quarterback with Rodgers' experience commands authority in ways few others can. His presence influences free agents considering Pittsburgh as a destination. Veteran receivers want to catch passes from proven leaders. Offensive linemen value stability behind them. Running backs benefit from defenses respecting the passing game. The ripple effect spreads across the roster. Without Rodgers, the Steelers must manufacture that respect through other means. Defense would need to dominate consistently. Special teams would need to flip field position regularly. Young offensive players would need to accelerate their development. The organization has navigated transitions before. Pittsburgh prides itself on continuity and culture, yet quarterback decisions always carry outsized weight. Mid-March will define more than headlines. It will define strategy. If Rodgers returns, the narrative becomes one of final pursuit. Every game will feel magnified. Every loss will trigger questions about urgency. Every win will reinforce belief. If he retires, the narrative becomes evolution. Who steps up? Who becomes the next leader? How quickly can the team adapt? The clarity Kaboly describes offers relief because it limits the guessing game. The NFL offseason moves quickly. Deals are signed within hours once free agency opens. Hesitation costs opportunities. Knowing the quarterback plan before that frenzy begins is invaluable. Rodgers has built a career on confidence and control. Setting a deadline aligns with that identity. He is not drifting, he is deciding. For Steelers Nation, the next few weeks will feel long despite the defined timeline. Every day edges closer to resolution. Every report adds another layer to the story. In the end, the decision will land with force. Retirement would mark the end of an era and the start of uncertainty. A return would ignite belief and raise expectations instantly. Either way, the franchise moves forward. That is the most important shift in this entire saga. Movement replaces limbo, direction replaces doubt, preparation replaces speculation. The clock toward free agency ticks steadily. Pittsburgh waits. Not indefinitely, not into the summer, not without structure. Mid-March approaches, and with it comes an answer that will shape the 2026 season before a single snap is taken.